Welcome back to Subtech Online. Our episode 1 on data validation drop-down lists. Starting with the fundamentals of coming up with a drop-down list. Now, the advantages of having a drop-down list, we find that it helps to easily input data. For instance, if we were to input a department with the highest hint on the start date, let's say sales, sales, and someone else will put in HR, but at some point you'll find another colleague inputting HR, other one can input HR department, which all seem to be okay with data capturing, but we are losing data consistency. So to have that data consistency, easy input, and at the end of the day, you need to approve the user experience such that easier for the users to input data. So what we come up with is a data validation of a drop-down list. How do you create a drop-down list? You go to data, then data validation. On settings, it allows any value, but this time we are going to look at the list. Now, it is at the source where you put your list of data. I'm putting cells. Now, if you are to put more than one, we put a comma to separate, comma, HR, comma, logistics, comma, and then maybe commercial. So you can put as many as you can, but for now let's go with 4. Then it's okay. Now at this moment, now you'll observe that there is a drop-down list that will be formed in that cell, and in that drop-down list, on clicking, it shows you the list of departments you can pick from. So if we pick from sales, now another thing is if we are to copy the validation to fill out all your data, where your data is covered, or column you need to cover, it is just a matter of copying the cell where you have done the drop-down list from. Copy this, then you select where we need to paste the validation. You go to select paste special. This time we are pasting validation. Then you say OK. So we shall find that all the cells which we have pasted special, we are having the drop-down list created. So it becomes easy. At every point you'll find that the input spellings are fine. Even the user experience, it is user-friendly, inputting data or capturing. So now there is another scenario where we always need to protect data or prohibit from an input of data which is not in the list. Let's say if I want to put something, it is going to show me that the value entered is not valid. Is restricted because it doesn't exist. So all this helps you to, now this is the data integrity we are talking about. There is no input that will be done which doesn't exist. We have those options going back to data validation. Then on input message, you can customize the input message the user has to look at, such that they always get it as a hint on which data to select. So here we can put select department, then you give a hint to the user. Please So the moment the user clicks in the cell, the hint will be really visible. Select department, place department to. So the same thing, we copy this and we paste the validation that we did before. So you'll find that all the cells are giving the hint. Again, back to our data validation. So there you can customize option. You can customize the message the user has to look at to input data correctly, and the user has to input the data is already well aware of what he's doing. Then you can also customize the error alerts. In the error alerts, we have three styles of error. We have a warning, we have a. What we have been looking at, the default one is a stop. Now, going to a warning, this one can be like this is a warning, means that if I entered going to give us a warning, please select what is on the list, but it is giving an option. Do you want to continue? So if I say yes, you'll accept the HR department, though it was not part of that. Then there is another option, having it, there is another style which is information. For the case of information, deleting this, for the case of the third style, information, it notifies you, but it doesn't give you an objective. Okay, then it goes ahead and there is cancel, which cancels. So this one doesn't ask further questions whether you need to yes or no. So when I say okay, it will accept an input which is not part of it. So guys, I prefer always to always go with the default, which is always a stop, which gives a warning and doesn't accept the wrong input. So putting this, yes, wrong spelling. So it will tell me that please, this is the information the customized message we had input. Check input, please select what is on the list. And indeed, yeah, the only option is retry, and it will not accept that until we have the list selected. Now, that is all if you are having 5 items in the list. Now, imagine you are having more than 5. More than 5. Shall we have to manually input them in the data validation settings? Shall we have to put them here by typing? No. And every time there are changes in the list, you will have always to come and make changes, and also changing all the ranges where you of the validation. Now, the option is this: we shall always have a list. You can always get a list. Looking at the second tab we are having, we have a list of departments. So we are going to use this option, pick from this list, such that if there is any change we are to make, we can make it this side and it will automatically reflect on. So this is what we are doing. The same thing, data validation, deleting all this. Now we're looking for this, and this is this. selecting this. If we want to leave it open, if there is an option of adding more items, you can leave it open like so, enter, then apply these changes to all the cells with the same setting. That make this one up 40. So find now our list is visible. When we come to this, is not yet because we haven't copied it through. So you do the same thing. Either you can also drag and it fills all the ranges you're looking at. So that is it. Comes to that. And if I happen to put any data that is not part of the list, it will automatically tell us to retry. So the same thing we do here, data validation, the status is, we need a list, and select the list. So this is what we take. Yeah. So we already have this. Do the same. Drag down that. Copy and paste. So this is it. So guys, that's how we come up with a drop down list, and that's how those are the fundamentals of data validation. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed on this channel, please subscribe. Click on the alert such that every time we upload a video is right at your notifications. Thank you. Bye bye.